Welcome again back to my stream. I'm back. I just checked. Yes, I am back. I haven't really been on for the past couple of days, and you might have noticed I'm wearing the same shirt. That's because I really like this shirt. I really like this shirt. This shirt was a good buy. It has that Harry Styles aesthetic. Not that I actually like Harry Styles that much, but his branding and style is pretty good. Um, what has happened since last week? The days they start to blur so very much. Like one day after another day after another day, it just seems to kind of blur everywhere, and I'm just like, it's quite tough to keep track of days. I take things by the week. If I'm lucky, I get 1 week of not going out. If I'm very lucky, the thing is, I don't think that's gonna happen. Every week has to be. My job really is to meet people, and if I do that, I need to go out. I need to go out as many times as I can. Talk about how good I am, how good we are. Success begets success. Win becomes win. Take a page from is it Roy Cohn? Roy Cohn. In order to win, you must believe you are already winning. So, easier said than done. What do I want to talk about today? What can I share to you about today? I guess this time around, I could talk about conflict resolution because I had a conflict yesterday, but it wasn't so much of a conflict. It could have been a conflict, but it didn't involve that. And that's what I want to say about conflict resolution is that you resolve it by not letting it reach a point of actually becoming a conflict. That's really important. So it's my best friend to me, and for lack of a better term, things weren't really meeting up and sync. We've been friends for quite some time. We've been friends. We've been there for each other. I've all the way since I came here to Amsterdam. So quite a long time, and things go through ebb and flow. And this time around, I felt that I was on the receiving end, and not of just not meeting up to expectations or something like stuff like that. And it's been quite painful for me. I give a lot to friendship, more than is healthy. I feel sometimes. I really
Yo,
that,
it's
I
Seth.
do think
Yeah.
that
The holiday.
I give more than I should. But the good things that come out of that is that when it's reciprocated, you know who is there with you for life. The bad thing of it is that it fucking hurts. It will distract you and it distracts me from all manner of things. And I don't know whether that's actually like, a good, whether that's actually a good thing to do. In line with anything, it's probably not a good thing. But here's the thing. The automatic thing, the first thing you feel, right, when I notice conflict, it's just that you want, there's a deep desire to point fingers because pain oftentimes needs to feel directed to something, which is not really the case. You have to take care. There's sometimes, and it's okay to be emotional. Emotions is something like that, but you have to take care and exercise and be judicious of how to where that emotion is placed and where that pain is directed. You have to be cautious of these things, otherwise the relationship could be damaged. And sometimes it's not a good thing if a relationship is damaged all the way. You don't. And I knew for the past, like, my heart was telling me one thing, but my brain was telling me another thing. This man was not there to defend me, and I have, I guess, if something is worth sharing, abandonment issues. That's something I have, yeah. And some automatic response in that situation is like a fight and flight situation. Instead of this time it's flight, I'm checking out. While automatic is like, I want to get away from the pain. I don't really want to feel. Damn, what the fuck? This is so hard to actually edit while I'm doing it. And this is digital on here. That was that. But if you're gonna lead something, you got to be able to navigate through your emotions and place a better judgment on a situation. So rationale, in this case, rationale prevailed. I told him that instead of like, oh, you're not doing enough, or you're not doing this, yada yada yada, like this is what you're doing, this is what is good enough, this is not great enough, stuff like that. That doesn't solve a question. And if someone comes up to me and say, we can all be adults about this situation, that's bullshit. Okay, I'm calling it bullshit right there. Because the people that wield that excuse have 110 times percent the people that are not adults. They're not emotionally mature to navigate through a tense environment. And the comment itself doesn't even help solve or raise any problem that is currently existing. It's just putting you on a moral pedestal. I really hate that. That is a rant. I absolutely hate it. Someone comes up to me and say, oh no, we're adults, let's be adult guys. Oh my god, no. Instead, what I said was that there was a problem, and the problem is that I felt that our friendship is being challenged, and I outlined to him where I felt that friendship was being challenged and why that I actually felt, that it came to that point. Why did I feel that it eventually reached that point? And that took time and it took care, because I had to navigate through my past and look past through my own emotional judgment in order to arrive to that conclusion and arrive in a way that doesn't belittle him, because it's very easy to immediately think about every bad thing that's happened, that you are the victim. It's really easy to do that. And that's not a good show. Rather, I think what was really helpful was that I tried to play back every good thing that's happened, and in truth it has. And only then can when I'm weighing through the bad and the good, can you really can you arrive in a good resolution? This does not always happen, but keep in mind it's all nice and it's nice and everything if this happen, but in truth this doesn't always happen, and even more it's a two-way street. If the other person is not willing to condone this, to meet you at that point, you will find that no matter how much you've done your best in preparation, it's not going to resolve that way. Because sometimes people are rather than resolution, they look for power. They desire power. They desire to demonstrate power, and then that's where the issue happens. Of course, in this case, I know he's someone I call my best friend for a damn good for a reason. So I never felt that I was actually involved in this stuff. For the other people, however, let's say we're talking about very, very difficult people, and you come to many times, come to many things. People accusing, people judge. And I remember one time someone was not happy that I was involved in a class because it kind of demonstrated a sense of a sense of betrayal. I only went to that class because my friend was teaching that class, but he happened to be underneath a what was that? Yeah, he was doing it in underneath a company that wasn't that great or something like that. And I was like, okay, on one road of things, I could just probably say, why are you accusing me for something just because I'm there? You don't even know why I'm there. You don't even know what I'm doing or anything. I could easily do that. It's so much easier to do that. But, I thought to myself, this was an opportunity to practice, restraint, patience and conflict resolution. And what you want to do in those times when someone accuses you of that, accuses you of doing something that you have absolutely no, is you actually want to reflect back the question to that in the sense that, hold on, I want to understand, and you say this really slowly. You practice your pacing on that. Practice, measure your heart rate, reduce your heart rate, practice your pacing, say it slowly. After the yell, you don't want to go back in a defensive thing because that actually really puts you in a worse position, to be honest. You want to try to reach an understanding, which is, hold on, I want to understand why exactly you're so angry. Can you specifically mention what I've done to you that makes you just angry? What exactly is, because and they'll be like, and you make them repeat why they're angry, and you'll find that this process, it initiates a process in their brain where they have to stop and think why they're angry. And more often than not, these type of people, these passive aggressive people, they're not really equipped with navigating their own reflection. That's why they project as opposed to reflect. So that starts, and this was actually taught from someone that I was watching YouTube on. I try to do this quite often, and ask them particularly what would why do you think that this is the right behavior for you to ask me why I'm doing this? Why do you think that this is a great behavior for communication? If this really is a problem that you want to solve, don't you think you can just communicate it? Don't you think you want to communicate it? Or talk? Or maybe? When you put that, people will just be like, understanding, because really engaging them on their terms. By asking questions, they are forced to engage you on your terms. This is not for anyone that is watching this. This is not an easy thing to do. This is a very hard thing to do because it challenges you and asks you to demonstrate your ability to put a pause on your emotion. But people who have who are able to dissociate between their emotions and their actions are capable of doing this. Particularly, and psychopaths and sociopaths are really good at doing this. What's a really good way of? Well, I'll tell you one thing about that anyway. So by doing that, by telling him why I felt, where I stand, why I felt this way, seeing the environment, seeing it a different thing, and communicating that I don't know. If I had to take a distance, I don't know where I'm doing it because I don't know what to direct my anger. I don't know what to direct my pain. And it didn't actually have to. It didn't go to that direction because it resolved before that. So with conflict resolution, take proper care, ask questions, and try to find a win-win situation if possible. This is, of course, if this is a use your judgment. Use discretion. Know when to use it. Sometimes you do have to bring the heat on. Not every time, but sometimes. And there are other times where you don't really need to bring the heat. Just be have some discretion when you're doing it. Remember what's important. Also always ask yourself, what are you trying to achieve out of this? what is the win situation? What is the win? Now, when you go to this, if you were to actually, like, I don't know, initiate a fight of something, is it worth it? And if it's worth it, why is it worth it? And that will help you out a lot more. Well, at least I think so. Know who's your enemy as well. That's really important. And this can be hard because sometimes my own personal ego as well, they'll tell friends become enemies. That's because I didn't trust people sometimes, I've learned to trust people better, of course. I try my best to become a better person in that element. Doesn't really help out all the time, but sometimes it does. I think what really was difficult is because I came from a family of lawyers, and although I do this in building design, I never really quite clicked with being a lawyer, to be honest. And it was like all our arguments weren't designed to reach an understanding or solution. They were really more designed to see who's the winner of the argument, who eventually wins, who eventually gets to say the last word. And yeah, this does put me in a bad spot as well sometimes. I try my best to let it go. I don't know whether it's actually like, I don't know whether this is actually the right way to do this. Like, whether it's just being a lawyer or not. Oh my god, a vampire. What was that? Let's see, is that? I think cool. I lean on that. Let's see. Oh, I got something. I really should. I keep doing things online. Anyway. What else do I talk about? Conflict resolution. Yes. So, a large portion. Let's talk about information transmission. Big words, really, but it's about the attention span of like people these days. So I think that last time I talked about that, the average person has the no, sorry. Let me react. Let me change something again. The currency that every agency, every creative, everyone is fighting for is 110% without a doubt attention. Attention can be in the form of shock, it could be a form of relevance, it could be a form of interest, but attention at the end of the day is what we're all fighting for. So everyone should understand that you have a very finite amount of time to convey what your whole identity, your whole brand to someone that's coming into your page. And if you do manage to get their attention, if you do manage to get their interest, you guide them through the decision-making process, and then you guide them to what's AIDA again? So AIDA is a framework that many marketers kind of taught about, awareness, interest, desire, action. So let's say you pass this. So when we're designing this website right now, when we back to redevelopment for the website, what's really occurring right now is that the website is the interest before creating a desire, and our job really is to navigate people down this column so that it comes to action. Now, yesterday, my fiance has shown me a website with Mantis, and okay, I don't think this is the perfect website to go about, but it's a damn good website. It's for something that's experiential led. This is a website, and you can see that before they've done anything, they say 3 words. 3 words is all you have. 5 seconds, 3 seconds is all you have to say your story, to get people to be interested in your story. And then when you do that, what they do is they funnel down people with interaction. They funnel down their interest to desire to interaction, and this is how they navigate through the story. And the copy isn't big because no one reads. Like look at Jujutsu Kaisen's, look at the Jujutsu Kaisen fan base. All these things, and no one knows how to read. I fear for the future of humanity because they will have the ability to read, but they will not use it because they just cannot read instead of just have someone to summarize it up. You know, no one allows for interpretation, but that's what but we don't make the rules. That's where we are right now. We have 5 seconds, 3 seconds to communicate who we are visually and guide along with our copy. The copy has to make sense with the emotion, which has to make sense with the visual. What this is okay, ask me, but what about us is actually really good. The story, where they are, where they've been, so on and so forth. And what they did was that they explored. So the whole thing is called Mantis, right? The whole shebang, it's called Mantis. Oh, shit. Are you telling me I've been streaming without actually showing my... Oh my god. Whoopsie. Oops. Hey, by the way, I'm actually going to... what's that? Stream on TikTok as well. And I promise you, TikTok is not going to be this garagey. Actually, no, I'm not going to make that promise. It's going to be pretty garagey. Okay. So, you couldn't see that. And now you can see it. So yeah, that's about 3 seconds, 5 seconds to convey about information. Please, simply, it has to match with the visual and it has to match with interaction. If they are experiential, if they're experiential, everything has to be something experiential. Something is what design a small website, you know, something, and use the judgment on what and what to apply. But what they do is that they gather interest. So if they're already, I'm already aware of them. I've stepped into their website. I'm now aware of them. So that part is done. We go into like the website, and this is where they're trying to funnel our interests into desire, and hopefully through desire even funnel it further to action. There are things I like about it, there are things I don't like about it, but what I do like about it is that the copyright is without this mic is what the hell? Oh my god. Stop it. I'm gonna wait for it to stop that one.
There's nothing.
See, there you go. So, yeah, navigate that. Quickly, simply, and it's all aligned. Now, the about us is even better. And what they've done with the copy is that they have a key point. Think of it like you start. I don't know if anyone played Cult of the Lambs. I use Cult of the Lambs as a way to explain this. You know, you start with a statement. In this case, they are Mantis works, Mantis.work. So they start with a statement, and then they explore that statement. You know, they explore what they mean with these elements, expand on that. You know, they expand further and further and further and further and further off that. But of course, like the copy isn't interfering with the visuals. The copy, if you want to read more, you probably could read more, actually, to be honest. Just give you the option to read, but it's not. But you're more interested about what they have to say. Once you're interested in what they have to say, then you can read. I actually could have done this. I think I've done this before. This is super cool, to be honest. I really fucking love it. But yeah. So what we have for us is that our starting point is that color is life. 3 words, enough to specific enough to know the direction we're going, expandable enough to deconstruct it into many forms. It has to be simple to understand. It has to be broad. It has to be specific enough to lead a direction, and yet broad enough to explore different avenues. Sounds ridiculous if you think about it. It's counterproductive, but turns out you can actually be both specific and both broad. Who would have known? And the way I like to see this is actually to see it through like a pathway point. So like, okay, so let's go. Here's let's look at this cup of lambs, map, right? No. Okay. I think I'm gonna print this actually so I can help visualize this because at the end of the day, it's all about visualization. People imagine, but they cannot communicate through visualization. They can imagine and see through visualization, but they cannot communicate. What is the statue? Shit. Spoilers. Never mind. Where is the map? Okay. Let's go Crusade map. I think I might have spoiled something for Call of the Lambs. Sorry, babe. I think I might have spoiled something for Call of the Lambs. Okay, no. Okay. So what do I mean by specific or broad enough? This is kind of what I mean. For instance, I'll move you here for a second. Over here, we have a starting point. And this starting point is either, you can see there's either a coin or a question mark, a stone, so to speak. But it's a starting point. And you know what the starting point is about. And from then on, it is our judgment and our choice to explore where this can go to. So color is life is right about here. But we have different things to say about color. Color is life. We have different story to tell about it. We have different assumptions. Ultimately, what this then happen is that it will eventually lead to a singular goal. Depending on this, despite all the multiple pathways it present, it will eventually lead to a single goal. And the single goal to my eyes right now is the total package. The total completion between product and the packaging, and everything should be resolute and sound. Ideally. Does this happen? I don't know. Does this happen? I don't know. You guys should probably get this game though. This game is actually really fun. Really, really fun. You get to design your own card. Is it satanic? Yeah. But it's satanic in a fun way. Yeah, I'm gonna lose some viewers. Anyway, that's what I mean. So in saying that, you have a way to communicate like intent specifically, but that could also lead to other avenues of exploration. And really our job is to really explore that. There's a saying that if there's anything you want to do to become successful in life, study yourself above all else. Study everything about you. Every single damn flaw, your personality, your history. Study it with extreme detail. And only through that will you arrive in like an understanding of what you are, who you are, what you can do, can't do. And I study myself obsessively, because if there's any one person I should be obsessed with, other than my own fiance, I do not. I sound like Nat Flanders. it should be me. You know, there ain't no number one. There ain't no number one else in the world other than me. Is that a statement that is grating? Yes, it is. But it's the truth for me, and it's the truth for many people. That's the truth for you too. I mean, okay. Hmm. It's hard to say actually, because I just love my anyway, I put her before me, and you also have to put yourself before other people, put other people before you as well. But technically speaking, it is about you. Find a balance, a somewhat of a balance, and maybe that can help you through. Maybe. Yeah, look, I mean, when I mean obsessed with yourself, I mean the positive way. The way that determines growth. I do not mean going around and being a king and waving your wand like everything. Yeah, I don't mean that. I don't mean that. But I do mean, focus on yourself. Focus on bettering yourself. Understand what you lack. Understand what you can not compensate, but should work with. If you were your best, and that's another thing, maybe this is another way to explore this. If you were your best friend, right? If you were your best friend, what would you say to yourself at any given time of this digital proof system here? At any given time of your life, and what the difficulties that exist, and with that like ability to do that, you'll find that you become more balanced, I think. And I do that with, like, for instance, kickboxing as well, because there are times like I just keep going. I will keep going, keep pushing, keep doing as well. And there were times that even when I was sick and everything, I still keep going because I just wanted to be better. But now I've learned better to exercise greater judgment in that, to be honest, and tell myself perhaps this isn't a day, and that's fine to tell yourself this is a. You have ups and downs. All these people that say there's this there's this great desire on the on the YouTube sphere right now to be like a machine, a beast, and everything, because I don't know why the people fear being human, unstoppable. Guys, your health is also important too. Like, things don't solve themselves within a day. They could be solved themselves within a day, but like, not there's some things that are out of your control, really truly out of your control. And the best you can do, really, given the situation, is like talk to yourself like a best friend. What would you say to this at that point? And what will did you do the right thing? Like, do you honestly do the right thing at that time? Could it have been done better? Could you have been nicer to yourself? Could you be nicer to someone else as well? That's fine, like, be your best friend if you can. I always talk about, like, I think last time I talked about projection sorcery, and like the ability to project is so important as well, because if you are able to imagine and project, you're actually able to go through, like, make a north star on your path, and then by following that truthfully, you will get there eventually. And that gotta work as well. Hey, 28 minutes is a good time for streaming, but my laptop is slowing down and I gotta do some stuff before going out today. Love you guys. I will see you guys tomorrow.